Hello, 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 hello. Wow, y'all, this is day 9. That's gone by pretty fast. Um, but it's been good. I hope it's been good for you as well. Um, I have definitely reset and have been doing well. How have you been doing? All right, let me see. I don't have my other screen set up properly to see the chat. Hold on. I want to see what's going on. Who's here? Okay. Okay. Danielle's here. All right. Hello, Danielle. Um, yeah, I'm doing well. And again, I hope that you are also. Um, Definitely look forward to. Hi, Kiana. Definitely looking forward to hearing how you feel after these 10 days. I really hope that you are taking note. You are keeping record. You are measuring. You are weighing. You are just actually looking out and seeing how you feel, how you respond. It's it's amazing to know that these changes that we are making allow us to really build up our resilience. It helps us fight stress. It helps us to navigate through life a lot better. So, definitely grateful to know this, definitely grateful to share this, and I'm definitely grateful that you all have decided to take this leap, take this. This is a big step because, again, we are used to doing certain things. Hey, health equity advocate. The picture's so small I can't see the picture. Um, but hey, um, yeah, we're used to certain things. We're used to eating certain ways. It's our culture. It's our generation. It's what's the closest to the house, and now it's the most convenient. Because of Uber Eats, Grubhub, Postmates, all these different things, and so it's definitely a difficult time for us to make really good decisions. And so I'm always going to give you kudos for taking any step, whether it's just one, whether it's 10. A step in the right direction is still a step. And so many people are not taking any. And that one step can turn into, again, 10 within a year. It can turn into 10 within 6 months. But taking a step is still very, very beneficial. So give yourselves a hand. Uh, Matter of fact, yeah, give me some hand emojis. Give yourself a hand. Um, definitely proud of you all for doing this, and I'm proud of me because, like I said, I am very focused, and I am having the time of my life these 10 days. Like, my results are insane right now because of the focus, and again, because of the community. This right here is importante, okay? And that we'll talk about. Sunday's a bonus day, so that'll be day 11. Hopefully, I can get more about your stories for these 10 days. Um, but we'll talk about. I call it the bonus day because there's some things that need to be addressed outside of these because we can get the mindset 5 days of that, great, and hopefully that helped you. We can get 5 days of a mind shift, great, but because we're still waking up and going to sleep to life every day, sometimes things are hard for us to maneuver around. So our bonus day, we're talking about stress and community, the importance of stress, of managing your stress and having community, and giving you some profound statistics, which again we should not need, but unfortunately they do back what the Bible teaches about unity. The Bible teaches about stress. You guys know that the Bible talks about stress. You guys know that it actually talks about stress and how to handle stress. Not preached about a lot, but it's definitely in there. It's in Philippians. It's in, what is that? I see it in my head. It's in Peter as well, just to name a few. But those are two of my favorite passages. And again, I don't want to get caught up in that because that's Sunday. But the Bible does speak about it. It's important that we manage it. The Bible also talks about community. There's some scriptures that, some very great scriptures that I have on that. But it's important that we are mindful of that and that we're making the necessary adjustments. Again, and remember, your community is the people you share life with. So good and bad. So if this is who you're around, if these are a lot of the habits that they have, you don't just share it in, your tones change. You notice when you hang around people, your tones change, your word choices change, your jokes change. Their diet a lot of times will become your diet, which means, according to even science now, their sicknesses become your sicknesses because you share in the same space. You're sharing in the same space. So their bacteria becomes your bacteria, and epigenetics mean that things are shifting. You guys begin to, what's the word I want to use? You guys begin to like grow into one another in genetics, basically. I didn't want to say it that way because I know people are like, how that possible? Well, it's been proven. It's called epigenetics. Above genetics, there is another genetic code where our genetics are constantly evolving day after day. And a lot of times it's also connecting with the people that are around them. All right, makes sense? I hope so. All right, let's get into this document. This is the day we're talking about food. Now, again, you already have a food list, so I don't need to necessarily talk about probiotics, prebiotics, protein, but we need to talk about what a lot of our food choices are doing to us. Okay, so let's get into this now. All right, here we go. Your body, your biz. This is this section, treating your body like a business, running it like your business, okay? And this is, like I said, day 4. And that 5 part, the 5 areas of focus, I just kind of combined with the concept of your body, your business. These 5 things, if you run these things properly and treat your body as a 24/7 business and see the different roles that different cells and different organs play, then you'll be able to navigate through life a lot easier and better. All right, here we go. What to eat, simple and nourishing foods, okay? Just keeping it simple. Again, this is day 9, so let's, understand what this mindset that we are trying to adopt and then what it means to shift it and transform on a regular basis. So some of you have heard some of this stuff, but not all this stuff. So allow every time you hear something, and even if you've heard it, sometimes it speaks different depending on where we are. Let this continue to speak to you and you continue to transform your mind and experience consistent shifts so that you never plateau. It's not fun plateauing. I lived it for years. It's not fun. Okay. All right. Monday. No, not Monday. The first day of Mind Shift, maximizing your body's clock. I hope that has made sense. The 24-hour clock, your body's clock. Is that making sense? Let me know in the chat. Did that make sense? I'll say it that way. What about meal timing? Does that make sense? Are you having a hard time monitoring your meal timing? Because again, those first 2 things are vital and they affect everything that comes next. Even though, like I said, they're all equally as important, it's still in this order because they're in order of effects. So knowing your circadian rhythm, making sure that your meal timing is in the lines of your circadian rhythm, making sure your sleep is also in line with your circadian rhythm, just alone without even changing your diet can reverse disease. Good, I'm glad it makes sense. Can lower your chances of getting diseases. And then once we got those and understand the sleep and all that, then we get to understand nutrition. Now check this out. A lot of things that happens when we are not choosing the right foods. All right, here we go. Um, the power of balanced nutrition. Now, I've been talking to you all about balanced nutrition, and you already know, right? It's the four categories we focus on that really help us live either a quality life or a subpar life would be fiber, protein, fats, and carbs in that order. Why do it that way? Because and talk and make sure you understand it that way is so that you understand balance. One of the biggest things I see from people, and I keep it to myself, but I'm like dying in the inside when I see some what's on people's plate oftentimes, and it's not balanced. It's too much this way or too much this way, too much that way, but it's never balanced. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, like where's your protein? Oh my God, all that greenage, that green stuff. And do you know where that green stuff, how that green stuff was made? Another conversation for another day. But just seeing, people just make these fast choices where it's salad. Okay, so that should make me feel good, but it technically is satisfying your need to feel like you're doing something better when in essence you're not doing anything good at all, to be honest. Okay, so making sure that we balance our meals, right? And these are some of the things, the power of balanced nutrition. The power of balanced nutrition, hormone benefits. When you balance your meals, it helps to balance your hormones. Makes sense. So think about it. Majority of the people, or again, I said this before a few days ago, when people are like, that's just women, and I signed on to that for years, and I'm guilty. I am. I'm guilty, but I have been redeemed. I am recovered, and I don't think that it is because you're a woman anymore. The more I learn about the body, the more I learn about nutrition, and then I see the women around me. The issue is they're so busy, taking care of everything and everybody, and they're not being taken care of like they should. Again, another conversation for another day. Probably got to revamp She Is First again. But because you all are doing that, then sometimes you just take what's left, or I'll just have this, or I'll just have that. And so the meals aren't balanced in time or in nutrition, okay? And so much of that is not your hormones just because you're a woman, it's because they are off balance, okay? Hormone benefits. Balanced nutrition stabilizes blood sugar levels. Not even the amount of food that you're eating more than it is the meal balanced? All right, let me ask this question. I think it's like only it's like a 13-second delay. But okay, so prime example, we're seeing right now balanced nutrition. And I want you to think about balanced nutrition in the way that I've been talking about food orders. Now, you see the hormone benefit. Number one, stabilizes blood sugar. What would be one of the ways having balanced nutrition, a balanced meal, help to stabilize your blood sugar? How would it do that? How could you having a balanced meal help to stabilize blood sugar or get it in the direction of stabilization? How would it do that? Does anybody know? I'm looking in this good old chat to try to see. Nobody responded yet. Let me know. Like, do you know, not know, say I don't know. Tell me, tell me, tell me. I want to know. What do you think it is? Again, I'm asking this because it's really good for you to know, not just what I'm telling you, and I don't want you to be a robot or anything like that. I want you to be able to put two and two together and get four, and this all makes sense. So, what in a balanced meal? How can it balance your hormones? How is a balanced meal stabilizing your blood sugar levels? What are you eating that's helping you? What and how? Let me say that. What are you eating? How are you eating it? I'm trying not to use other words, but I don't want to just give it completely away. And matter of fact, the next one actually also, it's insane how this works, but the next one also gives it away. Regulates appetite hormones as well. balances stress hormones, cortisol as well. So it helps to balance hormone. How are you eating this food? Nobody's putting anything in the chat. Okay, so I guess I'll just tell you. Um, how does this work? Basically, it's our four categories of focus, the order that we eat them. If you eat fiber, a good amount of fiber with your meal, you eat a good amount of protein. Number one, it's an appetite suppressant. Hey, Dave, I know you're here. The order, and yes, the order is eating balance. The order is eating balances our cravings. Yes, it actually can, because one of the things that throws your cravings off are spikes, sugar spikes. And when you spike your insulin too hard, the person that's benefiting more off of that is your dopamine. And again, it's about pleasure. And yes, that those hits and those spikes are pleasurable, but they can be dangerous over a course of time doing it too much. And so when you eat fiber first, eat your kimchi, your sauerkraut, your refrigerated pickles, or your yogurt, and then you add the order of eating balances our cravings. Yes, it does. And then you have your protein. These are nutrients that actually your body utilizes even more than anything else. So that's why when you're eating a good amount of protein, a good amount of fiber, probiotics and prebiotics, your body is getting satiated because it's getting what it needs. So by the time you get to fats, which are still good, you just can't overconsume them. Let alone, like I said, getting to fats, your hunger will decrease. Once you get to the carbs, you're not going to eat as much, and they're the blanket, so they don't hit your insulin levels as hard, because the fiber and the protein are literally like a blanket, preventing you from eating too much more, as well as preventing the spike to be too high. So again, just little things like that. That's part of balanced nutrition, is not just having all of those things, but eating them in the order in which we talk about. That helps to balance your hormones, okay? Energy benefits. It sustains energy throughout the day, okay? When you have balanced nutrition, it sustains energy throughout the day. Why? Because again, you're not having too much of this, not enough of this, just because it's food, and then you get to 12 o'clock and you're just done with the world because you have no energy. It's because you're malnutritioned. Same, better mental clarity. When you are not, remember your brain, I always say this because this is something to remember on so many levels. Your brain is 2% of your body weight, but it utilizes 25% of your calories. So again, if you're putting junk into your body, 25% of that junk, your brain is trying to figure out what to do with it, which again, we see issues. Same thing, if we're not eating enough food, the brain is taking 25% of that, which is still not enough for it, which is then definitely still not enough for no other part of your body. And so our brains are starving, our other organs are starving, we're malnutrition. And so our clarity is off because it has nothing to use to keep itself running. Okay. Also, it improves physical performance, which they're all connected. If you have sustained energy, your physical performance would be a lot better. So it definitely improves it. Body composition as well. Healthy muscle maintenance, proper fat distribution, y'all. That's a very, very important one. Again, these ain't necessarily just our genetics. It's not necessarily our culture. The culture is the food, the time, the happy hour, all those different things. And then we're getting, chicken nuggets or, hot wings, which are high carb, high fat with some protein, and the protein, by the time you get to the protein of the wings from eating at, buffalo hot wings, wild wings, by the time you get to the meat, you've already bitten to some gluten, and you've already bitten to some seed oils, which tears your system up. So again, when we're not having these balanced meals or not having certain things in a certain order, it's also going to improperly distribute fat. And remember, a lot of times fat is going to be distributed when your body don't know what the heck to do with that stuff. That's one of the ways that that happens. So if you're having too much of this and your body doesn't need it, which is another reason why insulin or sugar and carbs, which turns into sugar, put so much weight on us, because our body doesn't need it that much. And if you're the only time our body really needs the carbs, like a certain amount of carbs, it's based off of the movement. It's based off of our activity. So if it's a day where you're lounging around the house, too many carbs, your body's not going to need that. Matter of fact, your body can utilize already stored carbs. That's what keto ends up happening with keto. And, you end up not eating carbs. And so all the carbs that end up turning into sugar, which turned into fat, they're stored, you're pulling that out. And that's why, again, keto works so well, but then it doesn't work forever, because as we'll see, your body still needs carbs to survive. It just doesn't need an overconsumption of them, which is what's happening. And you can tell, like, it's funny because I'll tell you, like, you can tell people who eat a lot of pasta and bread because they gain a certain type of weight. You can tell people who eat a lot of fruits because they gain a certain type of weight. So watch this. People who do it, like people who sag a lot more, it's more of the fructose. So it could be fruit, it could be like soft drinks and things like that, versus people who are into a lot of bread, a lot of pastas. They'll gain the weight, but their weight is more like they're more like a puffy, hard. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, so yeah, I can't even show you a picture of it so you can see what it looks like. But just at the end of the day, you get the point. Body composition benefits. Your body benefits from your nutrition being balanced. How it distributes fat is important as well. So making sure we have balanced meals. It improves your metabolism, which is very important. Obviously, the whole myth of everybody thinking metabolism slow down. Metabolisms are abused. They are attacked on a regular basis, and we don't even realize that we're just eating what we think we like or we love, and some of those things are tearing our metabolism up. So eating a balanced meal helps to improve your metabolism. All right, a foodie's guide to living food. Simple. Ask yourself, did it grow? Did it live? Can it die? A lot of this stuff you can eat a good amount of without having the effects that you'll get from the list below that. If it never dies, then that means there's a great chance it's going to get stuck in your body for a pretty long time. And even if you're not eating a lot of food, if you're eating a lot of the wrong food, those foods are going to get backed up, okay? Artificial foods made in factories, chemically preserved, never truly decomposes. Imagine what it's doing once it enters your system. Your body ain't just demolishing everything that comes into it. Like, know that, all right? All right. Food, life or death choices. Why do I have to label it like this? Because it really is. Every bite is a bullet or a blessing. Okay? Yes, every bite is a bullet or a blessing. Pull the trigger when you choose drive-thrus over home-cooked meals, sodas over water, candy over fruit, chips over nuts. You are literally pulling the trigger. Now, are you shooting a blank? Are you playing Russian roulette? What's going on? Okay? But you are pulling the trigger. Okay? Here, the loaded chambers. Energy drinks. I know at one point in time they were big, and it's crazy because I still see some people drinking them. It's like, yo, what are you doing? Your heart should never be racing. And if you've had an energy drink and your heart was racing, that's not what's supposed to happen. Processed meats have nitrate overload, killing us. And then we need to become vegetarians or vegans because of that. No, it's because the meat is processed, and that process in that meat is causing sicknesses, is damaging our organs. It's not the meat, it's how the meat is processed. Artificial sweeteners, it's brain fog is bad, obviously, because we need our brain. and we need our brains to function well. But that's one of just the few issues that come along with artificial sweeteners. Horrible for our system. Fast food, obviously, they damage the gut. And if we know what we know about this, if your gut is not healthy, the chances of you being healthy are very slim to none. Um, I don't know about you, but the more I learn about this, the more I understand grace in this state. Because looking at what many of us do, and especially a lot of people who are not even trying to make these decisions, the fact that they're able to live long life, well, a good amount of time with lives that they've abused by the food that they put in them, the times that they put in them, that's grace. I've learned to see that as grace, and then it's crazy because after the effects take root from the decisions that we made, now we think that that's the devil, that's the enemy. It's not the devil, it's not the enemy. It's not even necessarily that grace you've has lifted. It's just the consequences of our actions. But grace prolongs those consequences to give us a chance to turn them around, and many of us don't to the last minute, and it rarely works. Okay. Life or death choices again. Safe chamber. Fresh water. Life flows. I drink 32 ounces first thing in the morning. There's no negotiations on that. No matter what happens throughout my day, I'm going to have my ACV. I'm going to dilute it, and then I'm going to have 32 ounces of water. Whole fruit offers natural energy. Raw nuts, they feed the brain. Living greens, they actually help to renew our cells. Eat, eat trigger pull. Each trigger pull. Just one soda won't hurt, right? We all know we have those moments. Everyone else is eating it. Just talked about that. I'll start healthy tomorrow. It's easier than cooking. These are clicks, y'all. Like literally, and I hope you're seeing the analogy. What's going to come at the end of that click? We don't know. What's really at risk? Your gut health, which every sickness starts in the gut. Your gut health is at risk. Your brain function, we all want our brain, obviously. And remember, your gut and your brain are like they're partners. They actually think interchangeably. I mean, independently. Your brain thinks independently than your gut thinks independently from your brain, and they work together to keep us alive. If we are damaging our gut health and we're damaging our brain function, everything else is going to spiral. It's going to spiral. Your energy levels are going to go down, and your lifespan will go down. So these are important moves to make, adjustments to make. I'll say it that way. Okay, I want to talk about this because of a lot of the food choices that many of us have. We end up experiencing insulin resistance, which is the start of a very bad life because of what happens. Also known as impaired insulin sensitivity, happens when cells in your muscle, fat, and liver don't respond as they should to insulin, a hormone your pancreas makes that's essential for life and regulating blood sugar levels. So insulin is important. It's needed to survive. People are like, we do need it. Never saying you should stop eating it, and people who tell you don't need it is weird. You do need it. It's essential to life and regulating blood sugar. What you don't need is too much of it at the wrong times for the wrong reasons. It is the fuel. How many times are you going to go to the gas station and fill up a full tank? If you don't need gas, you're going to have gas resistance. It's the same thing. Insulin resistance. The gas tank is just the gas is just going to come out. It's going to waste. It's going to go everywhere. It's resisting the gas because it does not need it. All right. Insulin resistance can be temporary or chronic. We never want it to go chronic. Sometimes it's temporary, but we want to catch it. We can catch it. That's why we get these different signals like knee pains, brain fog, again, getting tired. That's letting us know like our insulins are high and need some attention. All right. But then it can go chronic. We don't want it to go there. Insulin resistance decreases the production of nitric oxide insulin. Okay. Nitric oxide, That's your flow. That's your circulation. When it decreases your circulation, the more insulin resistance you have, the less circulation you are, healthy circulation you have. So again, we're living on borrowed time when we are in that space. And this ain't even talking about when we've gotten to type 2 diabetes. This is just saying when we're in insulin resistance, which leads you to pre-diabetic into diabetes. The production of nitric oxide is everything. New studies are coming out about that. I got to finish researching that, but just seeing, I mean, everybody's backtracking all these different things. Hello, I had to catch the replay. I'm in a slump. All good, all good. Sharon, just make sure you check this out. Our nitric oxide, let me tell y'all, I say this again, probably like the third day or fourth time in this challenge. Blood flow is everything. Blood flow is it's how things are transported. It's like the ports at at the different Long Beach port and Miami port. It's how things get across, get through. It's very important. And then the moment we have things clogged up, that means there's nothing being transported. And then there's certain parts of our body that are starving. It's like not getting the food over to Haiti from here. If they're looking for a boat to come from here, now they're starving. Your body it's like a whole civilization within us. The same thing is happening. And so when we're experiencing insulin resistance, it's chaos through our body. We are decreasing the production of nitric oxide, which means our circulation is going down. Resistance is a driver of inflammation as well as obesity. Okay? Insulin resistance is a driver of inflammation as well as obesity. Dang, it's 5:30 already, y'all. I'm trying to really get past this and not be going over the time. Okay, inflammation, the hidden battle. And I try to, let me know again in the chat that this stuff is making sense. I try to redo this and give examples that are easy to digest because I know this is a lot, but I want to make sure that it's easy to digest and you also know this. Inflammation, the hidden battle. When inflammation strikes, body focuses on fighting damage. Okay, check this out. I'm gonna keep reading, but I'm gonna explain it a little bit. When inflammation strikes, because inflammation it really much means to put on fire. So the body focuses on letting out the fire. The body focuses on fighting damage. Immune system takes a back seat. What does that mean? You're not able to fight something and defend something at the same time. So if your body is fighting, if your immune system or whatever is fighting an issue, fighting what's caused the inflammation, then that means your immune system is taking a back seat. There you have no defenses. So the more inflammation we have, the less defenses we have. Again, on borrowed time. God's grace obviously is awesome because think about how many of us live through our lives inflamed and it's considered normal. True fact, again, when your body's inflamed, it's fighting that damage and your immune system that helps you to fight viruses and disease is taking the back seat. Like a city pulling guards off the wall to fight a fire inside. There's nobody on the wall. There's nobody on the wall to prevent invaders. Your immune system, you want to keep your immune system healthy to fight the invaders. That's not going to happen when we're choosing to eat or drink certain things that's causing inflammation. We are collapsing from the inside out. How inflammation creates fat. Body stays in stress mode. Hormones get confused. Stores more fat for protection. Makes weight loss harder. That's literally how inflammation creates fat. Kept it simple, but just a good thing for you to know. Now we go into chronic inflammation. Watch this. The fat cells themselves send out a false distress signal to our immune system as if we are infected. The fat cells that are in our body themselves send out a false distress signal to our immune system as if we are infected and as if they are the source of an infection. They crazy. They crazy. but they're causing your body to do crazy things. At that point, your body isn't concerned about you losing weight. It's trying to keep you alive. I can go so far into that because we're finding out so many things that we think was an attack. And I don't want to confuse nobody, but let me tell you, they are proven when your body is trying to adapt to things. So technically type 2 diabetes in itself is one of the ways that the body is trying to actually keep you alive. But then we're being told that it's a trick of the enemy, and it's really not. Your body is trying to do whatever it can, because if you did not experience insulin resistance, if you did not experience pre-diabetes, and then it's going into stages, and there was nothing trying to block, you would die right away once you had too much sugar. Okay, you would die. I need you to understand that. Same thing they tell you, like the one of the beautiful thing about your body not being able to handle alcohol without you getting drunk. If you never got drunk and just was social, you'll keep drinking, and you'll die a lot faster of alcohol poisoning. Now, of course, again, grace gives. These are the safe mechanisms that God put into our body. Me and Dave have a friend who some years back who died of alcohol poisoning because he wouldn't stop drinking. Yes, after a while, you keep drinking, you build up the tolerance, and your body can only take it for so long. Same thing with overeating insulin. You can eat sugar and carbs for so long, and it's building up, and you're still here. God has put safe modes, safe switches in our body to do its best to keep us alive. That's why, think about it. How can these bodies that were like 8 pounds, 7 pounds, I think I was 9 pounds, can eventually one day stretch to be 800-900 pounds? Not only do we get height, but stretching. Like, our bodies are made to hold a lot of damage, and we just think it's just a part of life, and we're just sobbing with our sorrows, and we are literally unintentionally, because again, I guess we don't realize it, but we are really putting pressure on our body and making it hard for it to keep us alive. Yet it's doing a hell of a job. And let me say it that way. The more you learn about what's going on in your body, the more you realize your body is doing a fantastic job keeping us alive, even in the states that we're in. But it's only so long, and I'm staying there and saying things a certain way, still trying to be sensitive, but also want to be realistic. Don't allow yourself to get to these points, and then again, we're letting people who have no idea of how the body works, and then they're telling you, then that's just, the devil's attacking. No, the devil attacked when he gave you the option, because that's all he can give you. He has the power to give you the option, but he doesn't have the authority to force the option down your throat. We choose the option, and then these are the consequences now he knows what you can get addicted to as well. So he knows, boom, if they eat this, it's gonna spike them, their insulin, their dopamine levels gonna take it, and they're gonna probably be addicted to it. He knows that much, but again, he's not the one causing us to get cancer or putting diabetes in us. He's not doing that part. We are doing that ourselves, and saying that so that we can actually take the responsibility of. If we don't, we're going to keep having these unrealistic altar calls and unrealistic prayer circles for things that we are going to put back into our body the next day. Now, it's one thing if God changed me, changed my discipline, changed my my desires, changed my taste buds. Okay, let's go in and let's pray about that. But how are we gonna pray about something that we're gonna put right back into our body tomorrow? Lord, heal me of this cancer, and then you're about to drink this extra large shake tomorrow, or extra large Coca-Cola Slurpee. You're putting the cancer right back into your body, because that's what cancer feeds off of. All right. Don't want to be the dead horse, but I hope that's making sense. Okay, obesity and health facts. Love to share these, because you got to know and see where you fit in this. I hope you do have a scale and you're able to see what that scale, where it places you. Because if you fit in the confines of these numbers, then you have also you're in a position to deal with those consequences. 43% of Americans are currently obese right now, and that's going up. Projected 49% obesity rate by 2030. That's pretty much half of the whole country. Half of our country, not overweight, obese. 49.2% of our country will be obese. And I hope you know this too. Obesity is a chronic disease. All right? It's a chronic disease because it leads to death. The number one killer of COVID, the people that were obese, that was the number one people that were passing away. Childhood teen obesity has tripled in the last 40 years because fast food has gotten more popular. DoorDash and all these different things have gotten more popular, and instead of us doing what's beneficial for us, we try to save time here when we're shaving it off on the back end. All right, so be mindful of that. Medical costs of obesity estimated at 173 billion annually. Over 70% of American adults are overweight or obese. Over 70%. Only 23% of Americans get enough exercise. Insane, y'all. Don't let us be in the wrong side of these statistics. Health impacts from obesity. Health impacts. Creates false distress signals leading to chronic inflammation. I want you to see this one too. Fat converts testosterone to estrogen in both men and women. All right. That's why, we know estrogen causes certain things to grow. That's why the more weight, even a female, she can gain. A lot of times the weight goes to certain areas. When she loses weight, she ends up losing in some of those areas that they thought that was just genetics. No. But it's the same thing that happens with a man. When a man becomes overweight, his testosterone is being converted into estrogen. All right. That's what's causing man boobs. That's what's causing the deal with their tone of voice. It converts testosterone to estrogen. So that's if for no other reason, that's a good reason to want to not be in an obese state. On both ends, because women, you need testosterone too. I hope you know that. You don't want too much estrogen because that's also going to cause what we saw in a few sheets over, hormonal imbalances. All right. Obesity reduces sperm counts 50%. Because of obesity, sperm counts have been reduced 50%, have declined 50% in the last 30 years, which is interesting when you think about it, because for so many years, I know we used to always think, that some people still say it's the woman, she's getting older, and yeah, we know you got a certain amount of age. We know that. And, she's getting older and it's going to be harder. But I don't know if you're paying attention to what's going on right now. It's not the woman's fault that it's harder. Now it's the man shooting blanks. I hope that was okay for me to say. But that's what he's doing. And so even though there is semen, there's no sperm. And so, yes, he is literally like lifeless because of obesity. Again, that's why I say like the attack is a whole nother thing that we think. It's not what we think. It also increases the risk of heart disease by 70%. For the last 30 to 40 years, the number one killer of worldwide is heart disease. Obesity increases the risk of heart disease by 70%. Double risk of type 2 diabetes when you're obese. It reduces life expectancy by up to 10 years. Okay? It reduces life expectancy by up to 10 years. So not only is it taking life out of your sperm, it's also taking years off your life. Like it's taking away your life. And it is America's biggest problem right now. And like I said, the attack of the enemy, insane. All right. It's 44. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, hopefully this is the last one about this, but just to, this is where obesity, this is where false distress signals. I don't even know why this is here then. I'm going to take this. We've already seen this information, so I ain't got to go over that. Perfect. But this is, I guess, another overview of obesity. All right. Homework. List 3 processed foods you commonly eat. I want you to take this document that'll be emailed to you shortly, and I want you to think about whether today, tomorrow, or just within the next few days, list the processed foods that you commonly eat. And I'm gonna also challenge you. Let me see. Write this down. Dr. Berg, or put it in your phone. Dr. Berg, Dr. Berg. Very popular on YouTube. I can go with a lot of stuff that he says. I'll tell you right now, I'm not endorsing him. Overall, he's keto. And it's funny because some of the stuff, especially y'all that have been with me for a few years, even with his 12 million or whatever, subscribers, a lot of stuff that he's talking about now, we've been talking about for a long time. And some of the stuff he used to talk about, some of the stuff he talks about now, I do not agree with. But one thing that he just came up with that I saw that I like is he has created an app. It's an app. So if you go to YouTube, put him in, like I think the video came out today or the last couple of days, and it's basically still kind of growing slightly in beta, but it's still functional enough where you're able to put scan processed foods, or any food for that matter, but I think it'd even be greater to scan your processed food so you can really see what you're eating. Like he did a couple on the YouTube, and basically, because what he's really trying to make sure people understand, which this part I do agree with, is being monitoring the type of how much starch, seed oils, and sugar. And so this app, when you scan it, it will show you how much starch, how much sugar, and how much seed oils. And again, you eat it, it's going to be at your own risk. But so you can see, like, these are poisons in these foods, and just so you know. And then I think he said as they're flushing it out and new versions, they're going to also offer alternatives for those meals, those things that you might want. Okay. Anyways, next one. What whole food could replace each one? I would do that, instead of chips. How about lesser evil? And I like that got that name because it's still corn, but they know it's still a better version. Lesser evil popcorn. Instead of having regular chips, or instead of having, a matter of fact, they even got grain-free chips. You know what I'm saying? Or getting you some popcorn, or I wouldn't say grain-free chips because we're talking about whole foods. Popcorn can kind of fit slightly in there, but having like some macadamia nuts, having some pistachio nuts, or things like that. What can you replace it with? The Boss pear is amazing. The what's my kiwi? The golden kiwi, things like that are very tasty. Blueberries and yogurt and raw honey together is a good time. So think about replacing some of those processed foods with those type of things. What might make this change easier? Think about that. One thing I say, like I would agree with what Danielle did yesterday. She was saying, I don't know if she did it today, but she was saying how she meal prep. When you meal prep, it gives you control over what you're going to do when it's time to eat. If you don't meal prep, the next thing is to at least have in your mind what you're going to eat. And then from that point, then it's like everything is out the window. So make sure that you're making it easy for you to make better decisions so you don't have to diet and you can avoid medication as you get older. All right. I'm not going to do this because it's 5:48, but hopefully by now you know what your 4 food categories of focus are. Hopefully by now you know why they are, why we focus on these categories. Hopefully by now you should know when the biggest meal should be. We also should know when the smallest meal should be. We should also know what feeds the gut, right? All right. Tomorrow Saturday, try to have no less than 30 grams of protein. If you want more, take more. More won't kill you. It's going to help you. You treat it like a low day so that you could have diverse meals. Okay, so go for yogurt. Go for a fatty meat. You can do a fatty meat. Like you can have chicken wings because they're literally healthy fat and there's protein on that. Fatty fish, that's salmon. Or you could make things with avocado oil, coconut oil, ghee butter. Those are healthy. Or if you have some Primal Kitchen sauces, you can do those with some protein, a piece of fruit, some berries, put the berries inside the yogurt because it's low glycemic. The yogurts are not high in fat, so you can actually have a low carb and a low fat together. It's just when it's high and high, right? Having your apple, your pear, your leafy greens, your cruciferous vegetables, which is the broccoli, the cauliflower, the Brussels sprouts, the bok choy, those all fall in that category. Having zucchini, like I said, zucchini is very high in vitamins as well as potassium. So that's how I would suggest you approach your Saturday, all right? And again, make sure that you are being mindful of everything on this list as much as you possibly can. The hardest thing on this list should be natural flavors. Everything else, you should be doing your very best so that you can see where you are after 10 days, okay? All right, this is day 9 that we're finishing. All right, what are your wins? What are your struggles? What are your ahas, okay? Get prepared, guys. I want you guys to send me a testimony, whether written. I mean, I know some people don't like the picture thing, but, either or, but I definitely want a testimony about your experience, what you've learned, how beneficial it was, okay? And then we will be starting. I got to get with my VA, but you guys will get the information by Sunday at least to be a part of our 8-week. Yes, there's a cost behind it, but it's not crazy. And I actually, just because of who I am, I might add to the 8 weeks and it might be 10 weeks, but we'll see because I just love giving value. So that will start on this Monday. If you want to be a part, that will be great. If not, you can still take this information and it's still going to work for you and you're still going to get a lot of benefits. All right. Any questions? Anything? Any questions? Any concerns? What are some wins? What are some struggles? What are some ahas before I let you go? Anybody have some wins or even some struggles or just some ahas? I didn't know this or I didn't know that. I could do this and, and that helps this. No? All right. I'm not seeing any action in there. Okay, lastly, again, if you're going to be a part of it, even if you're not going to be a part of it, I appreciate everyone who has decided to join this 10-day challenge. And like I keep saying to the ones that are here, you guys have a different type of access than most people. So before the 8, if you're going to join, even if you don't join the 8 or 10 week that I'm going to do, hit me up. More energy, no cravings in between meals. Girl, that's what I'm talking about. Circadian rhythm for eating. Absolutely love it. I want to, when you start this 8 or 10 week, again, when we start this, I want to make sure that I have a conversation with the individuals that are starting this one, because I want to set you up for success. I want to give you a plan for you to follow. It's up to you to follow it, but I want to give you a plan to follow. Okay, no drinking while eating. Let's go. It's not that bad, is it? See, not drinking while eating, y'all. Little hacks like that make life so much easier. You're not diluting your digestive enzymes, so you're gonna digest your food more. Listen, I eat a lot, people. I need you to know, chips. That's your Achilles heel. But look, watch this. And again, I'll definitely be sharing this when we start the challenge. There are chips that you can buy that are better than the alternatives. So I even buy some from Sprouts. They're a grain-free, gluten-free, grain-free chip that I'll make with sardine. I'll make me like a sardine crab dip with some avocado-based mayo, some A2 organic sour cream. I'll put some sushi ginger. I'll put some seaweed, and it's a good time. But those chips, dipping that in there, and they got different flavors as well. So there's things that we can do to make the things that we want. Still experience the life we want to live while making better choices and still enjoying the things that we like. The same, no drinking while eating. Perfect. That's good. Okay, cool. like I said, next week, before next week, anytime during next week, let's get on a call or something because I want to make sure that you guys are set up for success and have an amazing 10-week, 8-week, 10-week, whichever I'm gonna do. All right, have an amazing night. Have a great weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do when you go out to eat. Keep it real. Stay real. Love y'all. All right.